And Fox News contributor Joe Concha, Fox News legal analyst Jarrett, joining us via satellite. Outkick founder Clay Travis is with us. Good to have you, Clay. Greg, let me start with you on the law, and let's talk about it. And I've been saying this, in many ways, if Hillary Clinton got off in terms of classified documents and destroying 33,000 emails and having an aide beat up BlackBerries and iPhones, and BleachBit was used, and she got away with more top secret classified material, and they raid Donald Trump's home in Mar-a-Lago.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be the documents that takes down Joe Biden, but the money and the big lie to the American people that he never had a conversation with Hunter or his family about any foreign business deals, to me, is going to be a problem.
Absolutely. I mean, how do you explain that this is now an investigation by the U.S. Attorney and the FBI going into its 5th year and no charges have been filed? If the last name was Trump or Jarrett, I'd be behind bars already and probably into my 3rd year incarceration. So there's a protection racket.
I would start a GoFundMe campaign.
Thank you. God bless. There's a protection racket going on here, and I commend the whistleblowers who are coming forward and talking to senators and members of Congress and saying, look, we know exactly what they were doing because we saw what they were doing. And they are blowing the whistle on top officials at the FBI who buried incriminating evidence found on the laptop. They sealed it in a file that only they could access. And then simultaneously, they went to work peddling this phony story that it was all Russian disinformation. So Merrick Garland and Christopher Wray, who are presiding over the cesspool of corruption at their departments, are in for a reckoning if, in earnest, Congress investigates and comes up with the goods.
I think that's a great point. And Greg was right, if you remember, all through the Russia collusion hoax. We got it right on this show.
We did.
You were a big part of our investigative team. Joe Concha, let's talk about it from the media standpoint. Yes. Even they now have to cover the story of the documents. The question is, we hear about the Delaware grand jury, and we hear about, he may get in trouble for lying on a gun application or tax issues. That's the low-hanging fruit to me. What about the money from China? What about, how did his father leverage $1 billion taxpayer dollars to get a prosecutor in Ukraine fired for paying this idiot that knows nothing about energy or Ukraine millions of dollars?
Hunter Biden is not the story here per se. Joe Biden is the story, because we could have a sitting president who is compromised by the likes of China or Ukraine or Russia or all three. So that's why these classified documents, perhaps they're important because what is in them, right? And what is that going to lead to? Because special counsels are like chocolates, right? To quote Forrest Gump, you never know what you're going to get. And it could start off looking at one thing and go in 100 different directions here. But now we have Joe Biden and Hunter Biden. They are the first father and son duo in presidential history to be under separate investigations. This ain't Archie and Peyton Manning here, right? This is Grandpa and Homer Simpson that we're dealing with at this point. And by the way, KJP.
By the way, is this all extemporaneous, or did you write this ahead of time? This is really good stuff.
This is off the top of my head.
This is
yes,
very good.
Thank you. But we'll share one more record. Karine Jean-Pierre has now set a record. For the most times, a public figure has said the president takes classified documents very seriously. She is now up to the DiMaggio levels of 56 times total. And by the way, how could he possibly be taking it seriously when he just said yesterday that there is no there, and he has no regrets about keeping it from the American people? Oh, yeah, he's keeping it. He's as serious as a heart attack on this one, Sean.
Clay, that does raise the question. They knew about this on November 2nd, 6 days before the midterm election on November the 8th. To me, they had an obligation to tell we, the American people, about this, especially in light of the August raid at Mar-a-Lago. They didn't do that.
I agree, and that's why I disagree. I think they're going to drag Joe Biden as long as they can, all the way up to and including the 2024 election. Guys, did we miss John Fetterman managing to get elected in Pennsylvania despite the fact that he can't speak? Democrats have absolutely no compunction whatsoever about the idea that they are going to kick Joe Biden to the curb. Do you think Merrick Garland, who helped, I think this is important, Sean, to cover up. They knew, too, at the Department of Justice all about this for months. They avoided letting the American public know about it. I think they know that Joe Biden is their best chance. If Barack Obama was the vice president instead of Kamala Harris, I think they might go ahead and kick Joe Biden out of office because they would have somebody competent. Joe Biden's best asset right now, guys, is the only person in American politics who is worse at his job than Joe Biden is Kamala Harris. And so they don't want, Democrats don't want, to have to put forward Kamala Harris as their candidate in 24. So they are going to run Joe Biden come hell or high water, no matter how many investigations there are. Like you said, they've had this Hunter Biden laptop since 2019. They've known it's real for years. They're suddenly going to treat it seriously? No, they're going to pretend nothing happened here. They're going to try and drag Weekend at Bernie's 2 style Joe Biden across the finish line again. He's going to be their candidate in 24.
All right, you're all on your A game tonight. Great job. Clay, appreciate it. Greg, Jarrett, Joe Concha, thank you all.